Hello, welcome. Today I'm going to be outlining how you can use this automated billing tool that I put together within Monday.com. Basically, how this works is if you want a recurring or if you want a button that you can automatically send out an invoice to one of your clients based on the hours or based on the items that you're billing them with, I put together a tool that you can do just this. So in here, I've created a new board. It's just called billing. And I've got three different categories. I've got outstanding, I've got invoice sent, and then I've got paid. And each one of these shows where the status of that item is. So if it's outstanding, that means that you're still working for the client. You're not billing them yet. As soon as you generate the invoice, it'll automatically create the invoice. It'll send the invoice to them. It'll send them a request. And if you hook this up with your bank, that could be either QuickBooks or some other billing system, you can automatically have it send a bill to them that they can pay directly online. And that just means that it'll send them the invoice, it'll generate the invoice, and it'll send it across, and it'll move it to this category here. And then once they've paid it, again, if you have it hooked up with QuickBooks or another billing software, then it'll automatically, as soon as they finish paying it, it'll automatically move that item over to paid, so you know that is finished, and you don't need to worry about it anymore. How this works is, let's say you have a company. So I'm going to create a new company. So I'm going to have fake company name, and then I'm going to bill them for I'm going to bill them for building a website. Building a website. It's going to be one item, and then I'm going to have another one as implementing the website. So I spelled that there. Implementing the website. And then we're going to have two different people working on this, so they're going to be two different hourly rates. So the person who's building the website, they're going to charge a little bit more, so it's going to be $100 an hour. And then the person who's implementing the website, they're a little bit cheaper because I can't have anybody do that, so I'm going to charge them $55 an hour. And then depending who you have working on this, they can start the time tracking. So I'm going to start the clock here. I'm going to go and build my website. When I'm finished, I click done. And then over here, once the website's done, I'm going to start implementing the website. So I'm going to start the timer, let that run for a couple of seconds. And then when I'm finished, I click done there. And you'll see that at the very top here, the next column over has the total that you're charging the client. So I have a little formula built in here so that it's going to multiply the hourly rate by your time tracking. So in this case, 4 seconds. 4 seconds times the hourly rate, which is $55 an hour, is 6 cents. And then it'll put that number up here combined with this billing website number. And so you'll always have the total for that client. And you can always see, okay, this is how much we're going to be charging them. And then it'll break it down once you open it up through the sub items. And you can add details about how you built the websites. It was a fun website. Whatever details you want. Oops, whatever details you want, you can add that in there. So it'll show you the total for that company name or for the company that you're going to be charging them, and it'll tell you the total amount of hours. So since I didn't have any actual hours in there, you just manually add a session. So manually add 1 hour. Let's go with 12. Okay, so 38 minutes. You'll see that the total time for that client has been 38 minutes. And you can always just remove this if you didn't want to see it, or you can get more in depth if you want to see it broken down into specific sub items. The status, this is only for the invoice, so there's invoice sent, delayed, or paid. If it's delayed, that means that they have been delaying actually paying you. And there's a whole different formula that goes through if they're delayed. And then it'll show you the date. So this is the date that the item was created. In this case, the fake company name. This is the date that the item was created. That means it was typically the date that you start the product on. That can mean different things if you want it to mean different things. Invoice number, the invoice itself. So you're not going to input any files in here. When you click this button called Generate Invoice, it'll automatically input the file within this category right here. But you don't need to worry about that because it'll generate it for you. So this is just keep track of it once the invoice has been sent. And then invoice number, you can either have it manually type the number in, or if you're using a automated billing software, it'll automatically put that number in based on previous invoices that you've sent out in the past. So if you have a numbering system that just goes 1, 2, 3, it'll just add the 4, etc. So you can just keep that blank, or you can manually type in your invoice number. And then you can add a contact. So in this case, I just have different names here. I don't have one set up for fake company name right now, but I do have one set up for a real company name. So if you select that one, you'll see that auto-populates the phone number and the email address that's going to be generated in the invoice itself. And this also defines which email account it's going to get sent to. So now comes a really fancy part where I get into some of the automations. So how this works now is if I either have this set up on a timer, so either I can have this set up every month. So at the end of every month, or 30 days from the start date, it's going to send out a bill to them. I can set that up. Alternatively, if you want to just manually create the invoice, I set this button up. So if you just click generate invoice, I can actually show you this other one I created before. You build a website, $100 an hour, 32 minutes. Upload the website, 57 minutes, $55 an hour. And then little notes about it. So if I want to just generate an invoice for this, it does take a little bit of time. So you'll see that it just did a little check mark, and we're going to wait. You'll see that it generated the invoice. I can just open that up, and that's what this looks like. So we'll have the real company name, LLC, the website, realcompanyname.com, the phone number, email, and then the description. So build a website. It's a neat website. Upload the website. Again, same description. Tell you the hours, 32 minutes at $100 an hour is $53. Upload the website, 57 minutes, $55 an hour, $52 total. And then you can even add tax, like if you want like a 10% tax or something, you can automatically add that in there as well. And then additional notes if you wanted to add those, and then the total that they owe you. And then you can have this automatically sent to their email. And you'll see I just got an email right here. So it says, hey Gideon, we've attached a bill for this month's services provided by Run on Automatic. That's my company name. The total comes out to, and you'll see that I actually made a mistake here, but it'll tell them the total that's outstanding, and then it'll tell them how many hours. So 32 minutes and 57 minutes total of work. And then it'll send them the invoice either attached as a link here or attached to the file itself. So again, that can be set up however you want that to be set up. It's just preference at that point. And if you have it hooked up with your billing software, it'll send the bill from QuickBooks or from Xero or whichever software that you're using. So once it's created that item, then it goes to another sequence within this, to where now you'll see that it duplicated the item, and you'll see that it set the next date. So you'll see that the real company name, you'll see that it just removed all the rest of the information here. It didn't actually remove it, it just moved it across, and you'll see that it changed the name to invoice created, and that just kind of archives it in the past, just so you're not having any kind of overlap with different same names, but invoices already sent. So it'll just change the name to invoice created at the end of it, and it'll create a new item here, and it'll set the date to the current date, saying that there is now a new project or a new outstanding thing that you are billing for. So for this, there's no items. You can create sub-items in here for the different services that you're providing them, or you just leave it blank. And then once again, you'll see that it will create the invoice number. This one I have it automated, so it just created the invoice number. But again, that can be set up however you want it to be set up. It doesn't have to be like this. And then it'll automatically send the invoice out to them via email for them to pay, and then once they've paid, it'll switch the status from invoice sent over to paid, and it'll archive this item and put it in this group right here down here called paid. There's also alternative options that you can do to where once if the invoice has been sent and it's been 7 days and they have not paid it, I can set up automated reminders saying, hey, you haven't paid this yet, just a reminder that it's still due. And you can have specific due dates too. All of that can be automated, but for this I just have some very, very basic stuff to where you can automatically generate invoices and set them up on a timer if you wanted to. So every month on the 30th, or every month, every 30 days from the start date of the project, it'll send out an invoice, it'll generate the invoice, and it'll request the payment from them online. So all of this is really, really cool and get way more in depth than this, but this is just a quick demo video of how this works with the billing section.